Hi, everyone. Welcome to MABS 60, Computer Applications for Business. I'm your instructor, Gina Hector. I thought I'd take a moment to use a YouTube video to just introduce you to the course and show you how to navigate to the important parts of the course and how to get to your assignments and other resources. So I'm already on our course homepage, which once you log into Canvas and you are on the dashboard, you'll find an icon for our class. I'm logged in right now in what's called Student View because normally my instructor view has a lot of resources that you don't see. So I will just take a moment. At the very top, you'll see the first announcement, and this will hold up to 3 announcements. So when there's a new announcement, it'll be at the top of the list. If I posted the 4th announcement, it would bounce this one off. But you can always get to all announcements from the course by clicking on the link on the left-hand side. There's some links just below the course dates here. This first one, Start Here, goes to modules, which we'll talk about in a moment, and all of that is described in these paragraphs. This questions link takes you to a general questions discussion forum. So if you have a general question about the course that anyone could possibly answer, you might post it there. And if any of you notice that someone's posted to that discussion forum and you know the answer to their question, feel free to answer them. Of course, if you have a private message to send to me, we'll talk about how to do that in Canvas in just a moment. There's a link here for the syllabus to download the syllabus if you wanted to print it out. There's also a link here on the left panel for the syllabus. This is just for on-screen viewing. So if you want to download the PDF file, this syllabus link also includes a calendar and a list of all the graded assignments, so you might want to have that handy. There's a link to my website, which you really don't need once you're in this course, and there's a link to my YouTube channel, but anytime I'm posting new YouTube videos, I will send out an announcement. This one is actually linked in the first module that you are viewing. So I'll let you know when there's some new videos to watch. So there's just some basic information here on the home page, course description. So it says here to contact me. I would prefer if you would use what's called Canvas Conversations. It's the inbox, which you see over here on the left-hand side. There's some instructions here, a link on how to use Canvas Conversations. But if you were to click on it, there's a um, create new button or compose button, and you just select our course and then you select me from the instructor list. There are no email addresses when you're using Canvas Conversations. I would appreciate if you would always contact me through this rather than using my regular City College email. I get so much email to that address, and here I'm in Canvas a lot, and I'm only getting messages from students in my Canvas courses, so it's faster to get to me this way. We don't have any required face-to-face meetings, but I'm available to meet with you via Zoom. So if you need to meet with me face-to-face in Zoom, just send me a message in Canvas and we can work out a time that works best for your schedule. If you need any support with Canvas, there is a phone number here. There's also a link to Canvas Overview for more information about working with Canvas. If you have any issues with your Cengage purchase, or if you've gotten Cengage Unlimited, which I'll talk about in a second, then you can call this phone number for Cengage. Now, scrolling back up to the left, most of the time I would like you to go to modules. Before I go to that, though, let me click on the syllabus because I want to mention that there is a live link here for the textbook bundle. So you don't have to have the book immediately. You have a 14-day free trial and you can start doing assignments, and it will keep that information so that when you do purchase the book, all of the assignments that you did during the trial will still be part of your account. But what's very important is that you only have one Cengage account. So if you use the free trial and you create a Cengage account in order to do that, when you do purchase the book, if you purchase it online from this site, you need to make sure that you are using that same Cengage account. Don't create more than one, or there will be problems in having everything that you do during the free trial carry over into your purchase. You might also be thinking about using Cengage Unlimited if you are using other Cengage titles for other courses. With the Cengage Unlimited, you have all the ebooks and you have access to all of our online content. You just don't get a loose leaf copy of the book, which is not the end of the world. It's certainly easier because you're going to have assignments reading through the textbook if you either have two devices so that you can read the book on one device while you're working on another device to do the project that's in the book. Yeah, I wouldn't advise trying to print out chapters. That's too much ink and paper to do that. But if you do get Cengage Unlimited and you'd like a printed copy of the book, you might investigate renting a copy of the textbook only. Cengage Unlimited is one price that gives you access to as many titles as you need in a semester. So it is a really great, affordable option if you're using other Cengage titles for other classes. You will also find on the syllabus a link here for how to get Microsoft Office 2019 on your computer. This course is primarily all about Microsoft Office 2019. The textbook is written for Windows. And although many of you might have Mac computers and we can put Office 2019 on a Mac, they are not identical. So there may be some times where there's some little things as you're reading in the book that is not exactly the way it looks on your Mac. Now, some of the assignments and in the book, it might have some tips for Mac users. I have told my Mac users, if you ever encounter something that you can't do on your Mac, then just send me a message of that task and I will check it out and give you credit for it if it's something that you really cannot do on the Mac computer. But what's very important is for anyone with a Chromebook to know that you cannot download the full Microsoft Office 2019 Professional Edition on a Chromebook. The only thing you can do on Chromebook are the mini app versions of Microsoft Office that doesn't have all of the features. So while there may be some things you can do on the Chromebook app, you won't be able to use all of the full features of Microsoft Office, and there will be steps in the assignment that you will not be able to complete. And unfortunately, I can't give credit for that. So if you have a Chromebook, and right now it's impossible, especially since we don't have our computer labs open, to have access to preferably a Windows computer or a Mac with the ability to download the full version of Microsoft Office Professional, then maybe you want to hold off on taking the course this semester until we at least have our computer labs on campus open where you have access to computers to do that. It will be very frustrating with the Chromebook because you will not have all of the features needed. So please be very mindful of that in taking the class, that Chromebook does not allow for the full version of Microsoft Office. There's some information here too for Mac users. There is something called Parallels for Mac that allows you to install Windows on a Mac computer. You probably don't need to do that for this course. If it was Microsoft Excel, or let's say you were doing a Microsoft Access class, they don't make Access for Mac. And don't worry, I have some modifications to the assignments for Microsoft Access because we do cover that in this course. To allow Mac users to be able to do those assignments. But Parallels is a product that allows you to download Windows and run Windows versions of applications on your Mac computer. So you don't have to do that, but I just put that information there to help you. You do need an internet connection, obviously, because this is an online class and we're using Canvas. So that's just one of the requirements, which you obviously are already using because you're watching this video. So you do need that textbook package, but as I said, you have a 14-day trial, so you can use that, but at the end of the 14 days, you will not be able to access the homework assignments. So here's a description of the different types of assignments that you're going to have and the percentages that they represent of your total grade. We will talk more about these individual assignments. But right now, I just want to do kind of an overview of where to find things. Okay? So there's other information here that you can read through. There's a link here for something called collegebuys.org. You might just explore that. As a City College student, there are some additional discounts on both software and hardware, and they are available to you at that website, collegebuys.org. You put in your school, you put in that you're a student, it verifies your enrollment, and there's some other discounts, even laptops and things you can find at good prices. This course, if you want to get a pass, no pass option, a C or higher would be a pass. You and you alone can go into your MyRAM to request that grading option. I'm not able to do that. There is a deadline for that, which I haven't found out the exact date yet, which I'll pass on to you as soon as I have it. But just be aware that that is a choice for you. Now, if this is a course that you are using to transfer credit, um, at some other institution, you may want to find out first whether or not they accept pass no pass for credit. Otherwise, I would say just go for the letter grade. This is not the rocket science course, and if you do all the work, you'll do just fine. So just be aware that that is your responsibility by whatever the deadline is if you want to request that as a grading option. So you can read through the rest of that. So if I had downloaded the syllabus, it wouldn't end here. There's also a calendar, just kind of give you an idea of what you're going to be covering each week, and then also a list of all of the graded assignments. So I'll scroll back up to the top. Generally, when you go into our Canvas course, you're going to click on modules. And even though there's a link for assignments and discussions, it's better to go to modules because everything is organized by week, and then you'll know whether or not you got everything accomplished. So in week 1, you were advised to start here, and this is just an overview. Every week has an overview of what you're supposed to do. A lot of times students stop looking at that because they know to go straight to the assignments, but just know that every week has an overview of what you're supposed to be doing during that week. And then hopefully you have already gone through and read this entire orientation that has a lot of the information that I'm telling you here in this video, just as an optional way of learning. But I would like you to go through that. Here's the link to the Getting Started video, which you are viewing. This Introduce Yourself forum is not graded, but I would really like you to go in. The way forums work is you click on the link, and all of the forums, the questions are in blue. There's some tips and information about netiquette or just etiquette on the net on what you want to do when you are writing responses to a discussion forum. And just click in the reply box right beneath the question to post your response. If you wanted to reply to someone else's, you would reply beneath their post. So when you are replying to the question itself, click on reply right beneath the question and you'll be fine. All right, let me go back to modules. And so here, the only graded thing in week 1 is this course agreement. This is just, it's set up like a little quiz. You check true or false. Obviously, if we were to open it, you want to agree, so it would be true. It's just saying that you agree that you've gone through the orientation and you understand the requirements for the course. So I just want to make sure that everyone takes responsibility for that by answering that question, and you get 10 points for that. Now moving down to week 2, we're going to get into some real assignments. So there's an overview that you can go and look at, but you'll see that this first thing says Computer Concepts Skills Training. Now this will actually go into another window. If I click on it, it opens up this first window that gives me some information about what is a SAM training. That's SAM stands for Skills Assessment Manager, and that is going to allow you to practice some skills. Now for this chapter, it doesn't come in the physical book that you're going to get, but it is part of the resources that we have available to us with this book. So rather than having you do some assignment, you're just going to go through this training to learn about basic computer concepts. Some of you will know a lot of this stuff, but this is part of the things that are of the course outline for this course includes covering basic computer concepts. So it's just a little training that you'll go through. Now, there's a link here that can take you to another uh, window that will give you some information on working with SAM training. You don't have to go to that unless you have some difficulties. But to launch the actual training assignment, you click this link below. So I'm clicking on it and it's going to take me to this screen. Now, normally it would take me right to show it to you, and I will show that to you I think in a separate video. But this is wanting you to log into your Cengage account. Your window might look a little bit different than mine. So you're going to have to create a student account if you don't have an existing Cengage account. If you already purchased the bundle online, you had to create a Cengage account. So you will want to put in whatever email you used when you created that account. So this part is very, very important. Either log in with your existing Cengage account or create a new student account. And then it would take you into the MindTap window where our SAM assignments and trainings are stored. And I'll show you that in a different video. So just remember, when you click on a link that takes you to Cengage, it's really important that you know what login to use. If you already have a Cengage account, use that. I know I keep saying it, but every semester there are many students who have issues because they created one Cengage account to buy the book, they create a new Cengage account here, and then it causes all kinds of problems. Okay, up at the top of my window, I can just go back to my Canvas course by clicking on the tab at the top. So I'm going to switch back to modules and scroll down here. So in this week 2, there's also a link for the ebook for Windows, because even though some of you are using a Mac and a different operating system, this textbook is written for Windows. Many businesses use Windows computers, so it's important to be familiar with the Windows operating system. So we have an ebook if you want to read it, but it's not required. There's an online training, and then there's a graded exam. So not in this video, but in another, I'm going to go over more of this on working with SAM training and the exams and other types of SAM projects that you'll find in other weeks. All right, so for this week though, we're taking it slow. Just go through this information, go through the orientation. You can get a jump start on this, and I'll try to post a video this during the first week for that SAM content for those of you who are working ahead. But just look for that in an additional video. I'll send out an announcement about that. Okay, so if I click on assignments here, you don't need to do that because they are all listed in modules, but you'll notice in assignments, I can either have them show by date or show by type. So if I show by type, then you can see all of the discussion questions are together, all of the SAM projects are together. There's a lot of them, and the exams and so on. And then there's some capstone projects. So you probably might like to see them by date if you were using this as a way to go, because then you'll know the order that they appear in modules. The discussion forums, you can also jump to if you wanted to see those, and all of the discussion forums and their due dates are listed here. You'll notice that the introduce yourself and general questions discussion forum are down at the bottom. They are not pinned. They don't have due dates. So if you're looking for that in the discussions group here, you'll have to scroll to the bottom. Remember, the general questions discussion forum has a link that says questions on our course homepage. So you don't have to go here to get to this discussion forum. Scrolling back up, announcements, I already told you if there's some additional announcements, you can find them there. Confer Zoom, I don't have any scheduled meetings in there. I may end up putting that in there, but it seems to work best with students who are working and have varied schedules if I just assign times to meet by appointment when you contact me and we work out a time that works best. But there is a link here in case we do have some that I set up for you to join via Confer Zoom. It's the same thing as Zoom. And then if I click on grades, This is where you would see what score you got. So anything that's done in SAM is going to automatically put the score here in Canvas, even though you get to those assignments from within Canvas and they take you to a different program window called Mind Tab. The scores will populate in Canvas. The discussion forums I have to grade manually, and you will see those here as well. But you'll notice that it's showing me the percentages there because they are weighted, okay? And this assignment shouldn't be there. I have to fix that. But the others, it's 0%. But this is very important. This was, you might have read this in the orientation. It says calculate based only on graded assignments. So if you did 5 assignments and you got 100% on all of them, it will say you have an A, even though, of course, there's a lot of assignments in here. So if you'd only done 5 assignments, you should know you don't have an A in the course if you only did 5 assignments. So just be aware that that is checked by default, really just to show you how you're doing at that point. You can uncheck it if you want a more accurate picture of what your grade is at that point. But I cannot change that default, so just be aware of that. So the only other thing that I would suggest is explore going to account and changing your picture. You might want to add a picture of yourself. When you go to account, there's a little icon where you can change that picture. And just explore Canvas and explore the course, and then look for any new videos that I'll provide on how to work with the assignments. So please send me a message through the Canvas inbox if you have any questions, and I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you online.